Hi, Dramione fam. Let's talk more tropes. There are many I could talk about and many I will talk about. But as I said recently, one of my favorite tropes is a Year 7 rewrite with Draco joining the Order, especially on the Horcrux hunt. If you have read a fic like this that you loved, other than the ones I'm going to discuss, please drop it in the comments because I love this trope so much. I think I love it because like Draco earning the respect and admiration of not only Hermione, but also Harry and Ron, in other cases, other members of the Order. It's just the redemption arc I always wanted for Draco, so it's like really gratifying. I also love to see how him being there would have improved the situations and also made them all kind of grow more as people. So whether this is done seriously or with comedy, this is always a golden trope for me. So here are my fic versions of this. Obviously, the first is the most classic OG version of this fic trope, which is the disappearances of Draco Malfoy by Riley Redgate or speechwriter. It's about 290,000 words, so it's long, but it is seriously one of the most exciting fics I've ever read. I loved that after one of the most suspenseful and exciting chapters, the author's note literally just says, "Cool, well that was the most fun I've ever had." And I was like, yeah. I have made another video about this fic, but basically, on the night on the astronomy tower, Dumbledore offers Draco order protection, and Draco lowers his wand, and he and his parents are pulled into the order, with Draco having to actually go on the run with the Golden Trio while they search for Horcruxes. Obviously, at first, he's angry and resentful and difficult and all the Draco things, but slowly they all begin to see the value in each other. I still remember so much of this fic so vividly, and I read it kind of a while ago. I just think the author did an incredible job with the story. It's very respectful to the canon, but, you know, just kind of like, she says it's like a remix. I thought that was great. It is YA spice, so if you're looking for spice, you'll only find, you know, a little bit of salt, dash of pepper in this one, but the romance is so well won. And I won't say who it is, but Ron Weasley's romantic journey in this one touched my heart so hard. This fic is a definite top read for me. Next would be Clean and Marked by Olivia Blake. Marked is really the fic that contains this trope, but you gotta read Clean first. And Clean, which is about 120,000 words, is a year 6 fic in which Draco and Hermione, paired for a difficult potions assignment and forced to spend their evenings in each other's company, catch feelings and begin an incredibly sweet relationship. That fic, Clean, ends with the night on the astronomy tower, with Draco lowering his wand and escaping with the trio. So Marked picks up right there. Marked is about 180,000 words, and it continues with the events of year 7. Draco is now on the run with the Golden Trio. This one has more spice. It's not 5-alarm smut, not that I remember, but realistic spice that occurs frequently. So if you like that, there you go. But this fic also really gets into the psychology of the characters and how they help each other grow and develop. It was actually stunning, and because it's Olivia Blake, the dialogue is sharp and funny and amazing. One other standout thing in this fic for me was Theo finding pseudo-parents in Narcissa and Snape. Loved this for him. Next is Isolation by Bex Chan, and I probably don't need to say a lot about this one because most people have read this one. It's about 265,000 words, and it has a pretty epic feel, mostly because it felt to me like a duology. In the first half, Snape and Minerva team up to hide Draco in the wake of him failing to unalive Dumbledore, and to a certain head girl's horror, decides stashing him in her room is the best course of action. So there's sparring and angst and disdain and self-righteousness and all the things that happen between them. But Draco, trapped and isolated, teeters on the edge of losing his mind. And I thought the author did a really beautiful job with Draco's mental health throughout. Even though he is toxic in places in this fic, because we're in his mind and we can understand where the toxicity is coming from, we love him. When the Death Eaters come to Hogwarts, he actually has to make a choice to take a stand. He doesn't technically go on the Horcrux hunt in this one, but he finds himself at Order headquarters with all of the angst and sparring with everyone involved. And, you know, as they kind of come to respect and appreciate each other. This fic is serious and in a few places incredibly sad, but it is a classic for a reason. All right, Oops, I Joined the Good Guys by Rogue Roxy. This one is just under 100,000 words, so it's definitely shorter, and it's a good palate cleanser if you love this trope but want something lighter and more fun. And I just made a video about this one, so you can watch that if you want to know more about it. But this one was hilarious, but truly still a good utilization of this trope. And I was impressed how this author reworked the plot of Year 7 to involve so much less bloodshed and danger just by having Draco on the side of good. Anyway, Rodolphus, Snape, and the Malfoys are over it. They have decided to save Draco by faking his self-unaliving and sending him into Order protection, while they figure out how they can undermine Voldy on their end. So Draco does go on the Horcrux hunt, and there is, let's say, much hilarity, and many adolescent antics and hijinks involving self-pleasure, spicy costumes, and sexy negotiations while they pass the time together. But still, there was real growth and development and a real bond that develops. And this fic also has a lot of heart, which I did not expect when I first picked it up. Okay, and lastly, the fic I just read. I'm not sure why I don't hear people talking about this one. I literally Googled this trope of Draco going on the Horcrux hunt, and this fic was mentioned on Reddit, but otherwise I've never heard this fic mentioned. It's called Things We're All Too Young to Know, and it's by E. Evans. It was so good. Oh my God. It's about 208,000 words, so it's on the long side. So we're about to enter year 7. Hermione's just obliviated her parents, and they're ready to start finding Horcruxes, and they're recruiting and planning for the coming war. Hermione is accepting that she's not returning to Hogwarts, but then the Greengrasses defect from the Death Eaters and pledge support to the Order in exchange for protection. They come up with a plan for Hermione to return to Hogwarts, polyjuiced as Daphne, in order to keep her eye on Snape and the Carrows, as well as maybe Draco, while also retrieving basilisk fangs and trying to find the Horcrux that's hidden at Hogwarts. Honestly, this is another one where the plot, while a bit out there, makes total sense to me. Like, why wouldn't they have used the brightest person in the room for this? It makes sense. So when Hermione returns to Hogwarts as Daphne, she is a bit horrified to learn that Snape has made her head girl and Draco head boy, and that they will be sharing the head suite. But because Draco believes she's Daphne, he's not mean to her. It was kind of a revelation. She gets to see his sweet and caring nature, like, right off the bat. He can also tell that something is kind of different about Daphne, and while he's never been attracted to Daphne because they're like siblings, he starts to catch feelings for her newfound intense personality. So they're really, like, coming to this, like, beautiful understanding of each other. He begins to suspect that she is helping the Order, she being Daphne, and he starts to offer his help to her, which throws Hermione completely for a loop. So when the Death Eaters come to Hogwarts for real, they have to escape back to Order HQ, and the truth comes out, and you can probably predict how that goes. But the characters and the relationships in this fic were incredibly done. This fic made me love Daphne. She and Hermione become, like, fairly close friends in this because, you know, they have to work together to get Hermione to be able to act like her. And I love Daphne. I wanted her to be my friend. It actually inspired me to include more Daphne in the fic I'm currently writing because she can really be great. This fic also made me love Blaise. And you know I'm usually apathetic at best about Blaise, but I think it's the Luna effect. Anyone that falls for Luna is inherently more interesting to me immediately. So yeah, Blaise and Luna. Theo was adorable as always. How do you not love Theo? But Ron is even adorable in this fic. I loved Ron. Remus and Tonks, of course, were adorable in this fic. Pansy was my favorite, as she so often is. Maybe my heart was more open to Pansy after Breathmint's battle scars, but she's so beautifully Pansy in this fic, and her relationship with Neville is everything. Just as a note, though the tag says explicit, this fic is YA level spice. I don't think you'll mind, though. It was lovely. Oh, sorry for the long video, but I hope that you check some of these out. And if you have, like I said, any other examples of this trope, please let me know. I'm always looking for them. And what other trope should I cover? I'll see you next time. Bye.